Liam and I weren't just classmates. For 4 years, we shared everything: projects, inside jokes, glances no one noticed. We were never officially together, but everyone knew. The bond was obvious. From the first semester of college, something clicked. We'd sit in the back row, share lunch, and walk out of lectures laughing. It wasn't dramatic or loud, it was just constant, steady, and real. But we never labeled it. Maybe we thought we had all the time in the world. Then came Noah, and Noah was also in our class. Sharp mind, louder voice. He noticed the way I looked at Liam, and the way Liam always chose to sit beside me, even if the entire row was empty. At first, Noah laughed about it. Then he started commenting. Then he stopped smiling. I didn't realize when his jokes turned into jealousy. Noah wasn't close to either of us, but somehow he got involved. Slowly, he started sowing seeds, first by befriending Liam, then whispering things I never heard but could sense. He questioned Liam about us. And Liam, always trusting, probably listened too much. Before I knew it, things changed. Suddenly, Liam started spending less time with me. He'd walk in with another girl, Ava. At first, I thought it was a study partner. Then I saw them sharing earphones, whispering. One day, I passed them holding hands. I was shocked, but more confused than hurt. We had no label, no promises. But 4 years of connection doesn't vanish overnight. I confronted Liam casually, hoping he'd brush it off. Instead, he smiled and said, "I think it's time I try something real." Something real? What were the last 4 years, then? I didn't say much. Just smiled back. But inside, something sank. I walked away and didn't look back. Over the next few weeks, everything shifted. Noah suddenly got closer to me, always offering help, always around. I didn't trust it. And I didn't need it. Ava and Liam got more open. Pictures, laughs, group outings, things we never did publicly, they did loudly. It stung, but only for a while. Because the moment I stepped back, I saw the pattern. Noah had done this. I saw how he mirrored his strategy. He pushed Ava toward Liam, and tried to push himself toward me. He played a game, and Liam didn't see it, but I did. So, I decided to leave it all. One evening, I called my parents, told them I wanted to move. I applied for a program abroad. Within a month, I got accepted. I packed quietly. No big announcements. No farewells. I left just a small note in my dorm. Sometimes, silence says it all. And I disappeared. I didn't tell Liam. Didn't tell Noah. I blocked them both. I wanted no drama, no closure. Just distance. In a new country, everything felt different. New faces, no shared memories, no ghosts. I rebuilt myself piece by piece, new friends, new goals. And slowly, the ache faded. Not because I stopped caring, but because I chose myself. Back home, I heard nothing. I didn't try to find out either, but the story didn't end there, because Liam's story had just begun, and it wasn't the one he thought he chose. Liam thought he had found happiness with Ava, but cracks started to show, and soon, everything he'd ignored about Olivia began to haunt him. Liam believed he had made the right decision. At least, in the beginning. Being with Ava was simple. She was loud, fun, and always ready to go out. They went on spontaneous drives, posted selfies with exaggerated captions, and laughed in crowded places where everyone could see them. It looked perfect from the outside, but Liam started noticing things Olivia never did. Ava didn't understand silence. She filled every moment with words, even when none were needed. She never asked about his day, only talked about hers. And when he brought up memories, she'd roll her eyes and say, "That's boring stuff, Liam. Let's focus on now." At first, he dismissed it. He thought maybe he needed someone different. Maybe Olivia had just been a comfort zone, and Ava was his growth. But then came the missed assignments, the forgotten plans, the endless scrolling during their conversations. One night, while sitting on a bench outside their campus library, Ava scrolled through her phone as Liam spoke about his upcoming internship. He paused mid-sentence, just to see if she was listening. She wasn't. She never asked what mattered to him. She never listened like Olivia did. He tried not to compare. But it kept happening. Olivia used to bring him coffee during exams, sit quietly beside him for hours, and notice when he was too tired to speak. Ava, meanwhile, forgot his presentation day, skipped it for a concert, and didn't even apologize. And Olivia? She was nowhere to be found, Liam asked around. At first, people just shrugged. Then someone said, she left. Went abroad or something. Didn't say goodbye to anyone. That hit differently, she really left. No goodbye, no text, no confrontation. She walked away like it never meant anything. That silence was louder than any argument. He went back to his room that night and scrolled through old pictures. There weren't many, Olivia never liked posting much. But the few they had? They were real. A laugh over spilled coffee. A blurry shot during a late-night walk. A quiet moment in the library corner. He suddenly remembered how she used to say, "Some things are better felt than flaunted." At the time, he didn't understand what she meant. Now he did. The contrast between what he had and what he chose was getting sharper by the day. The effort Olivia gave so effortlessly, Ava didn't even try to match, but he told himself to wait. Maybe things would get better. They didn't. One evening, he planned a dinner. Reserved a small place, picked up flowers, and even wrote a short note. Ava showed up late, half an hour late, and didn't notice the setup. She barely glanced at the flowers, took pictures of her food, and left early, saying, "I'm meeting friends." Liam sat there for a while, alone, with untouched dessert and a silent table. That night, he didn't sleep. He kept thinking about Olivia, how she'd notice when he wasn't okay, how she'd pick up on the smallest details, and how her silence now felt heavier than any goodbye. Noah came around the next day, all smiles. "You good, man? I saw Ava posted some cute pics last night." Liam forced a nod, but deep down, something clicked. Noah had been too involved. Too conveniently helpful. Too eager to steer things in a different direction. He began to wonder, had this all been manipulated? But even if it had, Liam had made the choice. He let Olivia go. He didn't fight. He didn't ask, and now, she was gone. As doubts grow, Liam starts searching for answers, but what he uncovers about Noah's role changes everything. Liam couldn't ignore it anymore. Something felt off, and it all pointed back to Noah. He began replaying conversations. Small moments that had once seemed innocent now felt calculated. The jokes Noah made about Olivia, the way he pushed Ava into Liam's orbit, the way he suddenly became concerned about Liam's future. Back then, Liam brushed it off. Now, it looked like a pattern. So, he decided to ask around. He started with Erin, a girl from their group who used to hang out with both Olivia and Noah. She hesitated at first, but when Liam pressed, she finally said, "I thought you already knew." Noah told Ava that Olivia was seeing someone else. That she was just using you for attention. Liam froze. "What?" Erin nodded. "Noah told her you were confused, and Olivia was stringing you along. That's why Ava got involved. She thought she was saving you from something toxic." Liam sat in silence, trying to piece it together. Noah had played both sides, painted Olivia as manipulative, Liam as clueless, and pushed Ava in like a solution. But why? Then Erin added, "I think Noah liked Olivia. Or maybe he just hated not being the center of attention. He didn't want you two to work out. He told me once that you and Olivia made everyone else feel invisible." Liam couldn't believe what he was hearing. All this time, he thought he had chosen something new. Something better, but the truth was, he had been steered. Noah had manipulated everything, and Liam had let it happen. That evening, Liam messaged Ava. "We need to talk." They met at the cafe near campus. She walked in cheerful, thinking it was something light. But Liam got straight to the point. "Did Noah ever tell you anything? About Olivia? About me?" Ava's smile faded. After a long pause, she admitted it. "Yes. He said she was playing games. That you were confused, and she was just using you to boost her ego." "And you believe that?" Liam asked. "I didn't know either of you well enough to question it. I just went with what he said." Liam didn't respond. He just nodded. It wasn't Ava's fault. She had no history with him. No bond. She saw an opening and took it. But she was never the problem. He was. Liam left the cafe with one thought burning in his mind. He had betrayed the one person who never asked for anything but honesty. That night, he looked up Olivia's old contact. Everything was blocked: phone, social, even email. It was like she had erased her past, and maybe she had a reason to. After all, when she needed him to stand up, he had stood aside. The regret started sinking in. He opened his drawer and pulled out the one thing he never threw away, a small notebook Olivia once gave him. Inside was a simple quote on the first page: "The people who care the most rarely say it out loud." He closed the book and stared at the ceiling. He didn't lose Olivia overnight. He lost her slowly, one choice, one assumption, one ignored moment at a time. And now, even knowing the truth, there was nothing he could do. She was gone. Haunted by his mistake, Liam tries to track Olivia down, but what he discovers only makes the silence more unbearable. Liam couldn't shake the thought: Olivia was gone, and he didn't even know where. That silence? It was now louder than ever. He tried every method to reach her. First, he went through old texts, hoping for any clue. She had mentioned once wanting to study abroad, but never said where. Her social media was wiped clean: no posts, no location tags, nothing. It was like she'd vanished on purpose. Next, he contacted her close friend, Maya. "Maya, do you know where Olivia went?" Maya gave him a long look before answering. "She didn't want to be found, Liam. That's all she said. I just need to talk to her." "She trusted you," Maya replied quietly. "And when you chose someone else, she didn't break down. She just left. That's who she is." Liam left the conversation with more weight than he walked in with. He checked the university's international student database. It didn't give details but confirmed she had transferred out. That was all. One name. One action. No trail. He began waking up with the same thought every morning: why didn't I just ask her? And every night ended the same way, staring at the ceiling, wondering what she'd be doing in a different country, in a new city, away from everything they shared. The worst part? She had let go with grace. No drama. No accusations. No messages asking why. Just silence. Noah, on the other hand, acted like nothing had happened. One day, Liam ran into him on campus. "Hey man, long time," Noah greeted, grinning like it was just another day. Liam didn't return the smile. "You lied." Noah raised an eyebrow. "About what?" "You lied about Olivia. You ruined something real." Noah shrugged. "I didn't lie. I gave people options. You made your choice. Don't blame me because you didn't know what you wanted." That was the final confirmation Liam needed. It wasn't just jealousy. It was control. Noah saw something pure and couldn't handle being on the outside of it. So, he pulled strings and stepped away when things fell apart, and Liam let it happen. For the next few days, Liam stopped going out. He skipped events, ignored Ava's messages, and avoided group hangouts. Nothing felt right anymore. He passed the bench outside the library where he and Olivia once sat late into the evening. It was empty now, just like everything else. In his room, he started writing, something he hadn't done in a while. Not essays. Not work. Just thoughts. He wrote letters to Olivia he never planned to send. In one of them, he wrote: "You didn't leave because you stopped caring. You left because I stopped noticing. And now I'm stuck in a place where I finally see everything, when you're no longer here." He kept the letters in the same notebook she once gifted him. Each page became a quiet reminder of what he lost. Not to nostalgia, but to ignorance. Liam didn't know where Olivia was. But he knew why she left, and that truth stayed with him, longer than any photo, longer than any memory. As Liam tries to move forward, he learns that Olivia has built a new life, and it's a life that may not have space for the past. Weeks passed, but the feeling didn't. Liam still checked Olivia's old profiles. Still reread the letters he never sent. Still wondered what he'd say if he saw her again. Then one afternoon, while scrolling through a mutual friend's travel post, something caught his eye. A familiar face. In the background of a group photo, different country, different setting, Olivia stood smiling, holding a coffee, her hair tied up, eyes brighter than he remembered. The caption said, "Study trip. With the best people in Paris, France." Paris, that was it. He zoomed in. She looked peaceful, content. She had changed, not just in appearance, but in posture, in presence. Liam stared at the screen for a long time. It hit him: she wasn't just away. She was settled. Comfortable. Rebuilt, and she wasn't looking back. That night, Liam sat at his desk, notebook open, pen in hand. He thought about writing again. But this time, the words didn't come. Instead, he closed the book. Maybe it was time to stop writing to someone who had clearly turned the page. He wanted to say sorry. But even that felt selfish now. Back on campus, Ava reached out again. "Hey, haven't heard from you lately. You okay?" He replied simply, "I'm good. Just figuring some things out." They met for coffee once more. It wasn't awkward, but it wasn't the same either. Ava was polite, friendly. But there was a quiet distance between them now. The connection that once felt forced now just felt gone. She noticed it too. I think we both know this wasn't meant to last, she said. Liam nodded. Yeah. They didn't argue. They didn't drag it out. No drama. No emotion. They parted ways without needing closure. Because there wasn't much to close, Liam turned his focus to finishing his degree. He kept his circle small. No more distractions. No more assumptions. Just work, time, and quiet reflection. But even with everything else moving forward, Olivia remained in the background of his thoughts. Her life had kept going. He thought about reaching out. Sending a message. Just one. Something like, I hope you're happy. But he didn't, because deep down, he knew she didn't need that message. She didn't need anything from him. She had already found what she was looking for, away from him, away from Noah, away from the mess, and for once, he respected her silence. There were no more excuses left. She gave 4 years. He gave into doubt. She walked away quietly. He learned loudly, and now, all he could do was live with it. While Liam focuses on healing, a message arrives that reopens old wounds and brings Olivia's name back into his world. Asterisk. Liam was in the middle of his final project when his phone buzzed with a name he hadn't seen in months. Maya. He stared at the screen for a few seconds before answering. Hey, she said quickly, sorry to bother you, but I thought you'd want to know something. His heart skipped. What is it? I just heard from Olivia. He sat upright. She talked to you? She messaged to check in, said she's finishing her program soon. She's planning a visit back home for a few weeks. Liam didn't respond right away. She's coming back? Just for a short time, Maya added. I don't know if she'll reach out to anyone. But I figured you'd want to know. Liam ended the call, but his thoughts didn't go back. She was coming back. For the first time in a long time, he didn't know what to feel. Relief? Guilt? Hope? That night, he walked past the old cafe they used to visit. The same table by the window was empty. Everything looked the same, but everything had changed. The next morning, he sat in the library early, staring at the same desk they once shared during exams. His mind raced with questions. Would she reach out? Should he? Would she even want to see him? By the weekend, curiosity got the better of him. He sent Maya one more message. Do you know when she's landing? Maya replied quickly. Tomorrow night. He typed a reply, then erased it. He didn't want to seem eager. Or desperate. Or worse, regretful at the wrong time. He spent that night staring at the old notebook again, the one filled with unsent letters. He flipped to a blank page and wrote, maybe if I had spoken sooner, we'd have a different story now. But maybe the silence gave you exactly what you needed. And maybe I needed it too. The next day came quietly. No sign of her. No posts. No updates. Maya texted again, she's here. Settling in with family. Liam walked around the campus that evening, unsure what he was even doing. Deep down, he hoped to bump into her by accident, but she wasn't there. Instead, he found himself at the same bench outside the library, watching students pass by, new faces, new stories. Then, for just a second, he thought he saw her across the quad, but it wasn't Olivia, just someone who carried herself the same way, calm, focused, distant. He let out a breath. If she wanted to see him, she would, and if she didn't, that was her choice. He had lost the right to expect anything. Olivia's return stirs whispers across campus, but when Liam finally sees her again, it's not how he imagined. Asterisk. Olivia had been back for 3 days. Liam hadn't seen her. Not in person. But her presence was being quietly felt around campus. People whispered. She's back? Wasn't she in Europe? She looks different. Everyone noticed the change. She wasn't the Olivia they remembered. She dressed differently, more confident, more composed. She spoke less, smiled less, but there was a calmness in how she carried herself. Liam heard it all secondhand, and then, on a regular Wednesday afternoon, it happened. He was leaving the faculty building when he saw her walking across the courtyard. She wore a plain white blouse, her hair pulled back. Simple. Neat. Unfazed, their eyes met for a second. That second felt longer than 4 years. She didn't stop, she didn't smile, she just gave a polite nod and kept walking. Liam froze. No words. No tension. Just quiet acknowledgement. He stood there, unsure what to do. Part of him expected some reaction, anger, warmth, maybe even indifference laced with sarcasm. But what he got was something harder to face, neutrality. She had moved on, that evening. He sat in his room replaying the moment. No one else saw it. It wasn't a scene. Just two people who used to mean something, passing each other like strangers. The next day, he saw her again, this time in the library. She sat 2 tables away, flipping through a book that he wanted to walk over. Say something. Anything, but he didn't. What could he even say now? He watched quietly, wondering what she thought when she saw him. If she felt anything. If she remembered the old times. Or if, for her, those memories had faded just like he feared they would. Later that night, he messaged Maya. I saw her today. Maya replied, she told me. Liam paused. Then typed, did she say anything? Maya's reply was short. Just that it felt done. He stared at the message for a long time. That was it. Done. 4 years of silent understanding, gone. With a nod and a word, and still, it hurt more than anything loud ever could. Liam considers one final attempt to speak with Olivia, before she leaves again for good. Liam couldn't let it end like that. A nod across the courtyard? A word like done passed through someone else? That wasn't closure. That wasn't enough. He spent the next day thinking of what he'd say if he got the chance. But every sentence felt either too late or too weak. Still, he had to try. Through Maya, he found out Olivia was only in town for another week. She was visiting family, finalizing paperwork, and planning to return to Paris soon, possibly for good. That gave him just a few days. One moment. Maybe he decided to write her a letter. Not for drama. Not for effect. Just the truth, simple and plain. The letter read, I'm not writing to fix anything. I know I can't. I just want you to know that I finally understand what you meant all along. It wasn't about labels. It wasn't about attention. It was about presence. You were there for 4 years, and I looked away at the moment it mattered most. I listened to noise. I ignored your silence. I didn't ask questions when I should have. You didn't walk away too soon. I stayed silent too long. I don't expect a reply. But if you read this, just know, I see it all now. He didn't sign his name. He didn't have to. Later that evening, he walked to her family street. Not to her door. He wasn't going to confront her or force anything. He just wanted to leave the letter where she might find it. He slid the envelope into the front mailbox and walked away without looking back. It was done. Now all he could do was wait, though he wasn't sure for what. A reply? A message? A second glance, maybe nothing. 2 days passed. No word. No sign. Then, on the 3rd day, something happened. He was sitting under a tree on campus, going over notes, when a familiar voice spoke from behind him. Still writing? He turned, and there she was, Olivia. Same calm voice. Same expression. But there was something in her eyes, less distant than before. He stood up slowly, unsure what to say. You read it? He asked. She nodded. I did. There was a pause. I'm not here to rewind anything, she added. I just thought, you deserved to hear something. Liam didn't move. He waited. You're right, she said quietly. You listened to noise. But I didn't speak either. I just walked away. You didn't know me anything, he replied. I should have asked. Maybe, she said. But I think we were both waiting for the other to act. And by the time either of us moved, the moment had passed. He looked down. So this is it? She gave a small smile. Not sad. Just honest. This was never about a big ending, she said. It's just the end. She turned to leave but stopped after a few steps. For what it's worth, she said over her shoulder, you were the best part of those 4 years. Then she walked away. No hug. No dramatic goodbye. No promise to meet again, just the truth, quiet, final, and real. Liam didn't follow. He just stood there, hands in his pockets, the wind moving softly through the trees, and this time, he didn't try to chase what was already gone. As Olivia leaves once again, Liam reflects on what those 4 years truly meant, and how moving forward starts with acceptance. The next morning, Olivia was gone. No public post. No announcement. No drama. Just like the first time, she left quietly, but this time, Liam knew. He had seen her. He had spoken to her. He had heard the words he never thought he would, and now, there was nothing more to wait for. For the first time in months, he didn't check his phone expecting a message. He didn't visit old places hoping to see her. He didn't reread the letters or scroll through old pictures. Instead, he sat in his room and packed up the notebook. The one filled with the unsent thoughts. He placed it in a drawer and didn't feel the urge to open it again. That chapter had closed. He wasn't angry. He wasn't bitter. There was no blame left to assign. Olivia had done what he hadn't. She chose herself before waiting for someone to realize her worth. And in the end, that made all the difference. Liam's days became quieter after that. Not empty, just focused. He poured himself into his final term. Applied for internships. Took early morning runs. Talked less. Listened more. Sometimes, while walking across campus, he'd think about her. Not with pain, but with calm, the way she used to listen with her full attention, the way she noticed small things no one else did, the way she gave without asking anything in return. Those memories didn't haunt him anymore. They became lessons because Olivia wasn't just someone he lost, she was someone who taught him how to pay attention, how to value presence, how to see what matters before it disappears, and slowly, those lessons shaped who he became. He didn't jump into new relationships. He didn't try to fill the space. He just lived, smarter, quieter, more aware. One afternoon, while walking past the library steps, he saw a couple sitting in the exact spot he and Olivia used to share. They were laughing over something small, sharing earbuds, leaning close without even realizing it. He smiled and kept walking. It no longer stung. It reminded him of what love looks like when it's real, even if it doesn't last forever. Later that week, he bumped into Maya again. "You seem better," she said. "I am." Did seeing her help? "It helped me understand," he replied. "Some people come into your life to stay. Others come to teach you how to appreciate what you weren't ready for." Maya nodded. "I'm glad you got to say goodbye." "It wasn't goodbye," Liam said, shaking his head. "It was the end of a sentence that never had a period." She laughed softly. "That's poetic." "Maybe," he said. "Or maybe it's just the truth." As graduation approached, Liam stood with his peers in the main hall, dressed in his gown, holding the certificate he had worked years for. Cameras flashed, cheers rang out, but his mind stayed still. He had made it through more than just college. He had made it through a quiet kind of heartbreak, the kind that doesn't explode, but slowly changes you from the inside out, and in that, he had grown. Olivia never returned again. At least, not while he was there, but her impact didn't need her presence. It had already left its mark. And Liam? He finally understood that not all stories are meant to circle back. Some just shape you, then move on. As time passes, Liam enters a new chapter of life, one where the past remains part of him, but no longer defines him. Liam stood at the edge of the same park where he and Olivia used to sit during university breaks. The bench was empty now, just like the space Olivia had left behind in his life. He stared ahead, hands in his pockets, replaying everything in his mind. It had been almost a year since he tried proposing to Ava, and got rejected. Her words were still fresh. "You don't love me. You're trying to replace someone else, and I'm not her." That rejection hit harder than anything Liam expected. He thought Ava was his fresh start. But it turned out he had never really started over. He had just run away from what he had with Olivia. And now, the truth was undeniable, he lost something real. He had tried reaching out to Olivia, first through old classmates, no one had heard from her. Then through social media, no updates, no traces. He even contacted her old email, no reply. It was like she had vanished completely. Liam finally accepted what he didn't want to believe: Olivia had moved on, not just from him, but from that entire chapter of her life. She didn't leave room for him anymore. He visited her old home, hoping her parents might help. But the house had been sold months ago. A neighbor told him they believed she was working overseas. No contact details. No address. That night, Liam sat in his apartment, flipping through an old university album. Every other photo had Olivia in it, smiling, laughing, leaning slightly toward him. He realized something painful: she always looked at him like he was her world. And he had walked away from that gaze. He thought about the years they spent together, simple, quiet moments. Sharing notes. Late-night coffee. Inside jokes. Those weren't just memories, they were building blocks of love. And he had thrown them away under Noah's influence and his own immaturity. Speaking of Noah, he was long gone. After manipulating their relationships, Noah quietly left the university, unable to face the consequences. Olivia saw through him. Liam didn't. And now, that blindness had cost him everything. In a desperate move, Liam started writing letters to Olivia. He didn't know where to send them, but he wrote anyway. 10 letters in total, one for each part of their story. He kept the last one simple: I was too blind to see what we had, and too slow to fix it. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just want you to know, you were right about everything. And I'll always carry that with me. He folded it and placed it in a book they once shared, The Alchemist, Olivia's favorite. He left the book on the university library shelf, in the exact spot where she had once picked it up years ago. Maybe someday, she'd come back. Maybe she wouldn't. But it was all he could do now. Time passed. Months became seasons. Liam started focusing on his own growth. He stopped searching and started learning. He attended therapy, picked up new habits, and finally accepted that closure doesn't always come through conversations, it comes through clarity. He never forgot Olivia. But he stopped hoping she would return. Some chapters close without a final line. And some people are meant to change your life, not stay in it. Years later, Liam walked through the same university campus, now older and calmer. A new group of students filled the space with their laughter. He smiled faintly. As he passed the library, he paused for a moment, walked inside, and checked the same shelf. The book was gone. A flicker of something crossed his face, not hope, not regret, just quiet understanding. If Olivia had found it, she knew, and if she hadn't, someone else had read their story. Either way, Liam knew this was the end. He walked out, the wind catching his coat. Some love stories don't end with reunions. They end with lessons. And Liam had learned his.